Welcome to the RECON Trader. In today's video, I will share with you the 1 week update for my BYBIT small account challenge that I funded with only $500. But before we get into the weeds, I want to make it crystal clear that trading cryptocurrencies is extremely risky, especially when you're using leverage like I am. And so with that being said, this video is not intended as investment or financial advice. This video is being provided solely for the purpose of educational and perhaps entertainment purposes only. So that's enough jaw-jacking. Let's get into the numbers. Now, I must admit it has been a bit of a challenge adapting to the price action over here on the BYBIT exchange. And that's not a shot at BYBIT. It's just that price action from one exchange to the next exchange can actually be fairly different. And I have definitely seen a difference between BYBIT and OKX, which happens to be an exchange that I do a lot of my day trading on for my larger accounts. And so what I ended up doing is jumping over to another screen and setting up a couple charts in TradingView with the first one over here on the left hand side is BYBIT's price action, and then the chart at the middle top is actually OKX's price action. And you can see the price actually varies about $20 between the two charts. And if you look down here in the bottom corner, this is actually Binance's chart for Bitcoin, and it is typically about $1 or $2 off from OKX, but again it's about a $20 difference from BYBIT. And so that's just a quick example of how the price action is different on 3 different exchanges. And so when I started the challenge a week ago, I was trying to adapt to the price action over here, and if I scroll down, you can see my first couple orders I ended up canceling because I just didn't get filled at the price I wanted to get hit at. And you can see the very first target I took a shot at was on June 2nd. Again, I ended up canceling that order because the price action just was not meeting my battle plan. And at that point, I realized I need to spend a little more screen time monitoring the price action over here on BYBIT. So the next shot I actually took was not until June 6th, so about 4 days later. And actually, I was still trading primarily over on OKX, and I had entered a trade over on OKX at around 31,300 for Bitcoin, and I tried to enter a trade over here on BYBIT, and I had my order price set at 31,349. Again, I ended up not getting that order filled, so I canceled it. But as you can see over here on OKX, that trade actually played out for a decent 40% win. And that is a simple example of how price action from one exchange to the next exchange can actually affect your entries, your stop losses, your take profit zones. Because when I pull the trigger on a trade, I have a predetermined stop loss and take profit based on a risk versus reward ratio. And so I need to get my entry price. Otherwise, I do not engage the target because I was unable to get that entry price. Now again, this is not a shot at BYBIT. I just need to get used to the price action over here on BYBIT. And then the next day, I actually saw pretty much a similar setup going on both on OKX and over here on BYBIT. And so I was actually able to pull the trigger, and that order did actually get filled. And so if we scroll back over to the chart, I was actually watching the price kind of move sideways after this big pump up. And I had noticed over here on the order book that we were seeing a lot of sell pressure and not a whole lot of buy pressure. And if you look at the book right now, like we're looking at 105 on the sell side and absolutely nothing on the buy side. So more than likely the price is going to sell. And that is the case. You see a lot of red on the book, and so the price will more than likely sell off because there's just no one here to buy. And there we just saw a $10 drop essentially in the price, where we then found some support and buying. That is how you read the tape, but that's a completely different video. But that is what I was watching going on kind of in this area. We get kind of a pullback, and then it got real heavy after this bearish candle and then these 2 additional bearish candles. So I basically entered a short at 31,420, And I set my stop loss just above these candles back here at just around 0.5%, but with 10x leverage, that would be a 5% loss. And so to get my typical 1 to 3 risk versus reward ratio, I would need 1.5% in profit. So I set my take profit at just over 30,900. And so with a 1.5% profit with my 10x leverage, that would be a 15% profit. And so I was risking 5% to gain 15%. So therefore I had a 1 to 3 risk versus reward. And even though my take profit was set at this level on these 5-minute candles, this price was very whippy. And so when the price hit that 15%, I hit out. And actually, I ended up getting another 1% profit for a total of 16% profit. And as you can see, I left a lot of meat on the bone. But y'all have probably heard me say it's not my job to pick tops or bottoms. It's my job to get involved and limit my risk versus my potential reward. And so that's exactly what I did. I limited my risk and I had my profit dialed in, and a 1 to 3 risk versus reward is exactly what I would like to get on every trade I make. At that point, I only have to be right 25% of the time to break even. If I'm right 30, 40, 50% of the time, I'm a very profitable trader. And so if we scroll back down and look at the closed P&L, you can see the one and only trade I've actually been able to execute in the first week. I was able to close for $80 profit, and if you look over here at my assets, you can see my $500 account is now up to $580. And so in the first week, not a lot of action, but now that I'm getting used to the price action over here on BYBIT, I do foresee week 2 a little more action, and as time goes on, I think we'll see more and more action. So I will be doing a lot more update videos, and so if you don't want to miss out on that future action and the updates of how this challenge is going, you might want to shoot that subscribe button. Now, before we wrap things up, I do want to jump over here to the RECON Trader Journal. I will be journaling all of my trades, and you can see the only trade I have so far is the one opened on June 7th. It was also closed shortly after I opened it on June 7th. And the pair I traded was BTC USDT. And the position size, that's something else I want to address. Trading such a small account for me is also very challenging because the dollar amount that you're actually trading needs to have some sort of value, but not too much value. And so on my big accounts, the most I will typically ever take of my total bankroll would be 10%. Well, 10% of a $500 bankroll would be a $50 trade. And for me, that didn't really carry any meaning. And so I decided in the beginning for the small account, in order for this position to have any real meaning for me, I would be willing to go ahead and trade the full amount. Now, I'm very disciplined, and as I mentioned, I have stop losses, and I would more than likely not risk more than 5% of this entire position in one trade. And again, I am disciplined and can stick to that. I know a lot of traders that will move stop losses, and if you do that, you will end up blowing up your account. So I'm not actually too worried about blowing up the account if I go with the full position size. It's just that this amount needs to have meaning to me. But on the flip side, if this $500 has too much meaning to you, like you start thinking that's a car payment or half your rent or whatever that might be, then more than likely you won't be performing at your best because that dollar amount has too much meaning to you. And so with that all being said, unfortunately, even this $500 position size for me is pretty hard to trade because it's hard for me to even take it seriously. But because it is the full balance of the account, it does have some meaning. And so that is something when you're setting up your battle plan, you have to determine how much of a position size you're comfortable trading with. And I'll tell you what, if you're all interested in me creating a video about position size, drop a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll give that some consideration to do actually a video on how to determine position size when live day trading. Now, moving along, the direction of the trade was a short. My entry was the 31,420. The stop loss was $31,577. The take profit on the short was set at $30,949. And when the price did actually reach this level, I manually hit out. And actually, I got an extra 1% because of how whippy the price action was. It could have gone the other way, but in this case, it went in my favor, and so the exit price was $30,888. And again, my risk reward was that 1 to 3. Basically, that is based on my entry, my stop loss, and my take profit. I was essentially risking 0.5% in order to gain 1.5%, and then when you add the 10x leverage, that is 5% risk and 15% profit. The trade was a win. The loss amount obviously is blank. The profit was the $80, and that gave me a percentage of 16%, and now my balance is $580. The signal was essentially me reading the tape, me reading the price action, and the comments that I put in here are basically bearish candles with orders piling up on the ask. So I saw that sell pressure building up, and there was no buy pressure to defend the price going down. And so I think that pretty much wraps it up. After 1 week of the challenge, the account is up 16%, and that is on only one trade, and that's due to me really getting used to the price action on BYBIT. Now that I have a better feel for that price action, I'm looking for a little more action in week 2, and so now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on week 2's update video. And with that being said, if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I will drop a link to BYBIT in the description down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.